Welcome back, trainers. Today we're going to be looking at Heat Rotom. Now, real quick, if you're not already, drop a like and subscribe on the channel and drop any comments down below. I respond to all of them. Otherwise, let's look at this Heat Rotom. Now, Heat Rotom is my personal favorite of the Rotom family here. I do like the Wash Rotom as well, which we just did a video for, so check that out at the link right at the top right corner of your screen. Otherwise, let's look at the stats here. So starting off with the stats here, we've got the defensive stats, and these are going to be pretty bulky here with the exception to the HP. So defense 107, special defense 107, HP 50. Now you can supplement your EVs into the HP, make it bulkier. Attack 65, special attack 105, and speed 86. So a decent speed stat, kind of middle ground there. Special attack, pretty nice. Not the best, but definitely something you can work with, and you're not going to be using physical attack on this Pokemon. Levitate is the one and only ability that the Rotom has. However, it is an amazing ability because it is going to hover you over the ground, and no ground type attacks are going to be able to do any damage to you. So if somebody uses Earthquake, you are good. You will not be able to take damage. If you're playing doubles and your partner Pokemon uses Earthquake, you won't take damage. So it's a great ability to have. Okay, now resistances and weaknesses. This is one of the reasons why Heat Rotom is my personal favorite, because it has just a list, a plethora of resistances and only 2 weaknesses. So it's got a great ratio of resistance to weakness. Let's take a look here. It's going to be completely immune to ground. Remember, it's got Levitate and everything, so you are good there. And then Flying, Bug, Fire, Grass, Electric, Ice, and Fairy are all going to be reduced by 50%. So you're only going to take half damage from each of those typings, and Steel typings are only going to be 1/4 or 25% of its total damage. So it's got a crazy amount of resistances here, and then its weaknesses are Rock and Water, and that's it. So it's got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resistances and an immunity and only 2 weaknesses. That's why this is an amazing Pokemon. I love Heat Rotom, and with its defensive stats, you can make it bulky. With its special attack and speed, you can make it offensive. There's a lot you can do with this Pokemon. If you're finding this video helpful at all, or you're liking it, please drop a like and subscribe. Also, guys, feel free to come over and visit us at the Twitch channel anytime you'd like. We do a lot of battles, raids, and trades every day, mostly Pokemon content as well as on Pokemon Go. You'll find the links down below in the description. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this video. Okay, so looking at the first moveset here, this is very similar to the one we did for the Wash Rotom in the other video. If you haven't, go check that out. Otherwise, 252 into HP, 156 into special defense, and 100 into defense. So we're going to make this more of a special defense-oriented Heat Rotom here, although we are going to have some supplementary moves like Will-O-Wisp that are going to make it so our defense is going to be safe and secure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the moveset. Okay, so looking at the moveset, we've got Will-O-Wisp, and again, that is going to burn your target, and it's going to reduce their physical damage output by 50%. So this is how we're going to guard ourselves on the physical defense section of things. Now, you could throw in a Reflect instead of Light Screen, but I like having kind of the balance here, and I find that there's a little bit more special attacks coming in, especially from something like a Kyogre or a Blastoise or something that's hitting you with special attack water type, which we're going to be weak against. So I like having the Light Screen here, and then Will-O-Wisp trying to nullify those physical attackers. And then we've got Protect or Rest. Now this is going to come down to playstyle. If you're really good at prediction and you're able to predict when they're going to be switching out or when they're going to be hitting you, then maybe you want to have Protect on here. Otherwise, you might want to have Rest on for the sustainability of the Pokemon, getting down to a low HP, using Rest, getting your HP all the way back up, and then keeping that Pokemon in the action for as long as possible so that you can continue setting screens and debuffing everything with the Will-O-Wisp and so on. And then Overheat is going to be our big stab bonus move here. Now, keep in mind, Overheat comes at a negative. You are going to get some drops here. You're going to lose out on your special attack damage when you use this the first time. You're going to drop by 2 stages after using it, but it is a 120 damage power move, so it does hit for a lot, and being a stab bonus, that is even more so. So this is a great technique to have. Just, you're probably going to want to pivot out afterwards or continue to set some screens and Will-O-Wisps and then pivot out. Now, like all the Rotoms, the only ability we have is that Levitate, so we are going to be safe against ground types, but that is going to be the ability that we can choose from here. And then we are going to go ahead and use the Calm Nature, again, boosting our special defense. That is really where I'm going with this special defense. Now, you could go on the other side. You could flip those defense values, put your defense at 156, and use the Bold Nature, and that would kind of invert those defenses for you. You could totally do that, but I'm going Calm here for the special defense, and I'm going to be using Leftovers. Especially if I'm going Protect, I'm definitely using Leftovers. Now, if you have something on your team already using Leftovers, or you don't have Leftovers, then you can also go with a Lumberry if you're going with Rest, and that's going to make it so the first time you get a status ailment like Sleep or Paralyze, then you will be cured instantly and you will be good to go. So the first time you use Rest, the Lumberry would proc, and you'd eat it, and then you'd be awake right away, so you'd get a full heal kind of for free without having any detrimental effects afterwards. Okay, so this next set here, this is going to be a kind of a fun set, and it's a harassment set. That's what this really is. So we're going to go the Trick. It's going to be Trick. That's the move that we're going to be focusing on here. So the HP is going to be 252 EVs. Speed is 140, so we're putting some EVs into speed here, and we'll explain that in a moment. And then I'm splitting up the other 116 EVs between both defenses. You could combine it into one and put 116 into defense or special defense, but I did go ahead and split up that bulk between the two, so 58 and 58 between both defenses. Okay, so looking at the moves, we do have Will-O-Wisp again. This time you could choose Reflect or Light Screen, whichever fits your playstyle better, whichever you're more comfortable with, or if you're seeing things that are predominant coming against you that you know that type of attack is something you need to protect against, throw that version of the defense on. And then Trick and Volt Switch and or Thunderbolt. Volt Switch is a great pivot because it does do some damage. Thunderbolt obviously is going to get some stab bonus out for you, and it's a pretty heavy hitting attack at 90, so that's always a good move. But Trick is really where the fun is going to be with this moveset here. Trick is going to take your item, and it's going to give it to your opponent, and you're going to take whatever item they have and put it on your Rotom. So the trick to this is really using a choice item. I prefer Choice Scarf on this Pokemon for this, so that you can lock that Pokemon into whatever move they used, and they can't use anything else. They are just done. That is their one and done move. So if there's a setup Pokemon out on the field like a Groudon that wants to use Swords Dance, now they're just set up for Swords Dance and Swords Dance and Swords Dance. They can't do anything else. They're just sitting there on the field, and they basically have to change that Pokemon out, and it inverts their entire strategy to a more linear playstyle that's much more predictable for you without having any crazy threats being on the field. So you're going to neutralize a lot of those threats. It can also take off whatever good item those Pokemon have on the other side of the field and take it. Let's say you took some damage, you take a berry off somebody, and then they hit you again. Now you heal with their own berry. So there's lots that you can do with Trick that's very fun, but I definitely recommend having the Timid Nature here, some EVs into speed, and the Choice Scarf, and that's going to make you super fast so you can get this Trick off without them going first or killing you or some kind of shenanigans happening. So that's what I recommend. You could do Choice Specs as well, so that you have like a heavy hitting option with Thunderbolt if you want to do some stab bonus damage out, but I do like having the Choice Scarf here. Nasty Plot is going to be the next set here, very similar to the Rotom Wash set that we had over there, so if you haven't, go watch that out. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same, 252 HP, 252 speed, and then 4 into special attack, Shadow Ball, Overheat for our Heat Rotom, Nasty Plot, and Volt Switch. So that's going to be the 4 moves here, and then Levitate, Timid for the speed boost, and a Mago Berry. Now there's a couple items you could also put on here if you really want. You could put a Life Orb on here if you want to boost your damage out. You could put Leftovers if you want residual HP coming back. I like having that Mago Berry on there, but there's a couple different items you could choose for this. Just make sure it's not a choice item, otherwise there's no way you're going to be able to use that Nasty Plot because you'll be locked in. Okay, final set here is going to be 252 into special attack and 252 into speed. We are going to be making this a full offensive build here, as fast and as damaging as we can possibly make this Rotom. So we're going to go ahead and go throw Shadow Ball on, Overheat, Thunder Wave or Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. So whichever of those attacks is going to fit your playstyle, that's what you're going to want to pick. I like having Volt Switch here because it does give me that ability to pivot out. Plus I have a really good stab bonus with Overheat. Now if you wanted to have Volt Switch and Thunderbolt, what I would do is probably knock out Shadow Ball and put the Thunderbolt in replace of that. But I do like having that little bit of extra coverage out. It's a ghost type move, and it's something that kind of covers the field for you that you may not have in your team already. Now, as far as Thunderwave or Will-O-Wisp, I actually prefer to have Thunderwave on for this set here versus the Will-O-Wisp. That way, if there's something super fast on the opposing part of the opposing team, then I can use Thunderwave, nullify their speed down by half, and then have the priority over them. So if it's something like a Kyogre with a Choice Scarf, nullify that item essentially, and be able to get in there and do some good damage and take it out, because that is a pretty bulky, tanky Pokemon. So I like having Thunderwave here. It's not wrong to have Will-O-Wisp. Again, that's good because it reduces the damage output of physical attackers, and it does a little bit of chip damage every turn. But I do like having Thunderwave on this moveset over the Will-O-Wisp. So for items on this one, we're going to go Choice Scarf or Life Orb. I'm kind of back and forth between the two, but I think I use Choice Scarf a lot more because I get much more benefit out of it, I think, on average, than I do the Life Orb. Life Orb's great because it does, you know, extra damage guaranteed, and it's not going to lock you into one move, but you do get a little life off every turn, so you got to be careful of that. But I like the Choice Scarf because it allows me to get in there on a full offensive and speedy build Rotom like this and do a good amount of damage right out of the gate, and sometimes surprise people, catch people off guard. You know, if they have something with a Choice Scarf in there and then you Thunder Wave their Choice Scarfer, kind of ruins some of that strategy, right? So I like having the Choice Scarf here, and if I need to, I can just pivot out. And if there's two big threats on the opposing side of the field, I can just pivot out right away with Volt Switch and be good. So I like having the Choice Scarf, and that's what I would recommend the most. But Life Orb is a solid second choice. Rotom Heat's one of my favorite Pokemon. I love having it in the rotation for the different teams that I have, and pretty much all the games that at least that it's in. Obviously, this Pokemon's not going to be in Let's Go Pikachu Eevee or anything, but I do love Rotom Heat. It is a great Pokemon. If you have a great build for the Rotom Heat or any of the Rotom family that you really like, drop it down in the comments. I would love to see it, and I do answer all the comments, guys. And if you haven't already, drop a like and subscribe. It totally helps the channel out, and I would be super appreciative of it, so thank you so much. Otherwise, I do hope this video helped you out, and if it did, then come by for the next video. I do look forward to seeing you there. But until then, take care.